Hello.
Happy 2022. We did it.
Yes, we did.
We wrapped up 2021 and we're charging through into the new year. Thanks for joining me.
No problem. Happy to be here.
It is my pleasure to welcome everybody to our first Facebook Live for the year for Auctria. If you aren't aware, my name is Lori. I'm the marketing coordinator here at Auctria, and I am so thrilled that Ed said yes and said he would come on this Facebook Live with me. Is your arm still hurting from me twisting it?
Well, it's in a sling, but it's okay.
Well, the reason I asked Ed to come here is because you may have seen him on our demos, but he is the author of our entire Auctria user guide. And he does an incredible job. As you know, we're constantly adding features, tweaking things to make them better. And Ed documents every piece of that, dots every I, crosses every T, so that you can stay on top of everything. So Ed, thank you for the job that you do at Auctria.
Oh, thank you. I actually quite enjoy doing it, so I'm
Well, I
happy to help.
enjoy reading your user guide, to be honest with you, as dorky as that sounds.
That's good. Glad that
So I just have a couple little slides to anchor us, and then we're going to do a share screen because Ed has done an incredible job in adding some walkthroughs onto the Auctria platform here or into the user guide. And this is based on feedback that we've gotten through reviews and notes in our Facebook groups and things along those lines. We always listen. We always want to know because we work on auctions, we see a lot of stuff going on, but you being in the grass and in the weeds with stuff, sometimes there's some great things, and we love that. So without further ado, if you haven't been hanging out with us for a while on any of our webinars, here's the most recent tally. Ed, 40,000 auctions, $400 million raised. Should we cheer for everybody out there? They are the heroes. Thank you so much for using Auctria, and we appreciate each and every one of you for that.
Absolutely. I appreciate everything that you're doing to help others as well.
Absolutely. Sorry, didn't mean to step on your toes there.
No worries.
So what we're going to talk about today is the most colorful page, I think, in the user guide. Is that safe to say, Ed?
It has a lot of color.
You can tell I had my fingers in it. I'm like, here, Ed, here's some photos. So this is our walkthroughs, and I'm going to go ahead and turn everything over to Ed. He's going to share his screen. I'm going to show you how to access the user guides, the purpose of those in the user guide. Ed, who do you think should use this? Somebody that's joining us for their very first day, they're new, they're coming back. Tell us what you think or who you think can make best use of these pages.
Well, I think that everybody can. If you're brand new to Auctria, then yeah, starting with the walkthroughs is a really good place. As you can see on the screen that I'm sharing in the presentation right now, this is that little screen capture that Lori had. This is from the Auctria walkthroughs page, and each one of those blocks takes you into that section, which is also shown in the sidebar. Now, if you're brand new, like really brand new, you're probably going to start with the initial setup. If you've already gotten that far and you're ready to carry on, and you jump into the auction setup. So maybe you're not quite brand new. You've been here for a few minutes. And then you can carry on from that. The walkthroughs will help you, and they're based in a task-oriented approach. The user guide has a lot of different approaches depending on the kind of content that we're trying to provide. And the walkthroughs are basically your A to Bs. You want to do an initial setup, you go to initial setup, it will lead you through the steps of, well, let's pop in there. So in the initial setup, We've got a little showcase that's going to show up for you right away, so you can see a few videos that Lori's prepared. We try and get as much and different type of media into the user guide for you. But for the initial setup, it'll take you right through setting up, getting an account, setting your organization, starting your auctions, users, everything kind of breaks down. And you can continue on with that. So you want to, how do you set up an online auction? Well, we've got another set of showcase videos to help you go through that. What we try and do with the user guide and the walkthroughs and every other aspect is give you the information you may need. We want you to be able to help yourself. We're here to help you all the time, but if you want to read or if you want to watch a video or just look at some pretty colored pictures, then you're welcome to go to the user guide. And we don't want to make that a waste of time for you. We want this information to be valuable for you. And as Lori said, we're listening. Let us know if you find something that doesn't look right, could be clearer. I'm happy to accept any sort of construction criticism and put that to use so that it's easier for you to work with.
Awesome. Thank you. And I know, Ed, you had mentioned, but I want to reiterate, in the user guide, you've got screenshots, you've got written instructions, there's all sorts of videos. So I think we have a lot of different learners. Some people learn by listening, some people learn by watching, some people learn by reading, some people want to bookmark a page. And we've pretty much got every single one of those learning types covered with the user guide. And I know, it may feel duplicative or triplicate sometimes, but use the part that talks to you, and we hope that it provides the clear direction that you're looking for. Ed, one of the questions that we get sometimes is, how do we even get to the user guide? Do you want to share that with us?
Sure. There's a few different ways, obviously, to get to the user guide. If you've contacted support with a concern or a question, we'll often provide you a link to a relevant page in the user guide. But let's just pop over to the application. Here we are. This is one of my demo applications. And to be honest, I use these kind of demo accounts to build out the screenshots, build out the GIFs, build out the information that's being provided in the user guide. So this is my current one. So some of the dates are a little wacky. Like, you're not going to have an auction closed in 329 days from now. You might, but not too likely. But what we're going to look at is right up here, you have a little question mark and a circle. So if you click on that and you want to look up something, say you want to look up credit cards, well, this provides you a nice little drop down with some recommended results, and each one of these links directly into the user guide. So if we wanted to say, well, let's look at the system email notifications because I don't understand what they're doing with the credit cards. And it'll pop you right in. It'll show you in the left side where exactly you are in the user guide. So the user guide itself will be matching the application. So if you're under auction team experience and you're in communication, then you're into the system emails because that's a communication item. We try and make it somewhat intuitive. So if you're a little lost, you can use the help, or you can just simply go to guide.auctria.com. Start at the top. You can work your way through. It has its own search. So if you do credit cards, then again, you're going to find relevant information. So I just want to see key topics and credit cards. Key topics is a collection of pages with short descriptions to give you a step in. And it's often very good for trying to really sort out what you were looking for. But there's also the credit cards under auction team experience, which matches where you'd find it in the application. So if you're in the dashboard, there's credit cards right after communication. And the same thing, auction team experience, which is your dashboard. and credit cards right after communication.
And those are all in alpha order, right, Ed?
No, those are, well, they're in alphabetical order because that's how the application was set
Right.
up. The user guide just matches it, so you're not trying to figure out, well, where is it?
Right.
Even under each of these settings, like credit cards, those pages listed under credit cards match what's in the application.
Awesome.
So it's going to be, credit card settings isn't specifically there, but for example, Stripe and then authorize.net and so on and so on. We try and match the sub pages to the content in the application. So if you need to go look for something and you're not finding it in the search because the search gives you a lot of results, then you always have the hunt and peck. Not ideal. That's why we ask for your feedback to say, how can we make this better?
Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate your time. I do want to wrap this up and give people, where do I go next? What else can we do? We have a lot of webinars scheduled for you for the first quarter of this year. Here are our upcoming webinars. Love to see you at any or all of them. If you register, you will get the playback. So if you can't make it, that's okay too. And if you want to catch any of our webinars in the past, you can play those back. We most recently, back in December, released our new website designs, and we did a ribbon cutting ceremony. You can watch that. And all that's on our Auctria main website, the Learn More page, and then webinars. So I appreciate each and every one of you for joining us. We are active on social media. I'll put this up also. Why is that doing that to me today? We are on Facebook, we are on Twitter, we are on Instagram, and we are active on LinkedIn as well. I invite you to join us on each of those because we have different information that comes through on those. Oh, I forgot to mention the bell at the top of the user guide that shows you the most recent user guide update. So here's a screenshot for that. But here's our social media. On Twitter, a lot of people will tag us on their auctions, so we'll reshare those. On Facebook, we put up FAQs, user guide updates. On our auction team talk page, it's all sorts of groups that are raising money, like this fabulous individual. Shelly put a note here. She said, great job, guys. I've been using Auctria for several years. Y'all have helped us raise funds for Rachel's rest. We thank you. We thank you, Shelly, for all that you've done. And on that auction team talk page, you can have conversations with people similar, as well as event planners, auctioneers, all sorts of people that support fundraising. And then if you want some additional help, you can always add on launch to your event. And the launch team will help you get your event set up and running as quickly as possible. So with that, I just want to say that we appreciate each and every one of you for joining us. And I hope that every single one of you have bids that soar and you crush your fundraising goals. Ed, I'm going to let you bring it home.
Well, thank you again, everyone, for your time. And we really do hope that you're enjoying things, especially using Auctria to run your successful fundraisers. And absolutely reach out to us if you need any help or assistance. That's what we do. We're here to help. So all the successes.
Thank you. Looking forward to a great 2022.
Absolutely. See ya.